Extra punch!
Hey guys, it's Patra, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about my favorite cards for each class from the new expansion Descent of Dragons. And at the very end I'm going to tell you guys my favorite neutral card from the new expansion. And the expansion comes out tomorrow, so that's pretty exciting. We all get to play the new cards. And maybe you guys share similar taste as I do and also have the same favorite cards for every class. Let's get right into it. The first class I'm going to be talking about is Mage. And my favorite Mage card from Descent of Dragons is Malaga's Aspect of Magic. And I feel like, yeah, this card is almost like another Zephyrus, right? You play it, it doesn't have the best stats, but if you're holding a dragon, you get to discover. So you get like 3 options to choose from, and you get to discover an upgraded mage spell. And each of these spells, if you take one of them, they all have like the legendary border around it, so it looks like you have a legendary mage spell. But they all have Malagus's name into the spell now, and you can see from the selection of all the legendary Malagus's spells, depending on your situation on the board, you could clear your opponent's board, so you get that flame strike, deal 8 damage instead of 4. That's insane. You get some of the cards, instead of like upping the damage, it is cheaper. So for example, Frostball is free, Malagos's Nova is 1 mana, the Polymorph is 1 mana. But yeah, it's got cool things like that. If you want to look for lethal, you can deal 8 damage to your opponent's face with that upgraded Fireball. So it's pretty exciting because I know that it's going to be seen in certain decks. And speaking of certain decks, with this card, I actually built a list. So in this list over here, I also referenced APX's list. He also built one himself. So I was like, I built it first, and then I was looking over, I was like, we kind of have similar things. And I was like, okay, that's a bit better. So I stole some stuff out of APX's list to improve mine, but because if he's the mage god, who wouldn't reference APX's mage list? But basically we're like 2 cards off, right? Therefore it's my list. I'm just kidding. That's just what people like joke about. It's still basically APX's list. But alright, so looking at this list, I put in Arcane Breath. I remember his list did not have that, so because we have the dragon synergy going on, I thought let's throw in that Arcane Breath in there. But of course we got Doomsayer, because Doomsayer is great for Highlander decks, all the Highlander mage decks, I should say, just to get rid of the early aggro. We get to see Fire Tree Witch Doctor back again in your mage Highlander dragon deck, so that's pretty cool. And some other dragons, so we have Dragon Maw Poacher in here, because the meta is going to be filled with dragons on the ladder, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Dragon Maw Poacher on the ladder. And then we have Frizz Kindle Roost. Is it Kindler Roost or Kindle Roost? Okay, we'll just say Frizz. Frizz is going to be added into this deck because we have tons of dragons, so you want that value to cheapen all the dragons in your deck. And the reason why dragon like mage works so well is because it has so many dragon cards already. Caligos is a dragon card. Alexstrasza, the original Alexstrasza, is a dragon. And then we're gonna throw in the new Alexstrasza in the deck, so we're gonna have both Alexstrazzas in the deck. And I feel like every time you're gonna be playing a Highlander deck, you're gonna throw in the Dragon Queen Alexstrasza in there. So another new card that we put in is the Rolling Fireball, Cobalt Spellkin. Then you can see we added the Malaga's Aspect of Magic in there, and Big Ol' Whelp, which is a 5 mana 5/5 draw a card, and as a Highlander deck you always want to draw cards. And we have the crazy chunky Luna's Pocket Galaxy. I know it's such a big spell, but if you get to do that for free with Caligos, it's pretty cool, or Tortolin. You know, that's why we added that Luna's Pocket there. And then you have Stargazer Luna to just like cycle your deck once, and it's all like 1 mana. So yeah, I think Dragon Highlander Mage could actually work, and I'm really excited to play this because I personally liked Highlander Mage decks already since I've been playing it in Hearthstone Global games. So now I get to try the new version with lots of dragons. All right, so that's a lot to talk about Mage, but yeah, let's move on to Warlock. The card I picked to be my favorite card in Warlock is the Crazed Netherwing. And Crazed Netherwing reminds me of Dustbreaker. We all remember Dustbreaker and how strong it was in Priest. The difference is that Dustbreaker felt like it had a lot of support. We had a Dragon Priest deck. And that's why Dustbreaker worked so well in Priest, because we had all these other dragon cards. But with Warlock, I don't know if we're gonna even see a like mid-range dragon Warlock deck or a control dragon Warlock deck. But yeah, it's a great card. If we see some dragon decks in Warlock, then this card is going to be the king of that dragon Warlock deck. The next class I want to talk about is Paladin, and my favorite Paladin card from Descent of Dragons is Amber Watcher. And I know that when this card came out, everybody was comparing it to the old Healbot, and they're like, this is insane, this is such a strong card. Healbot was like used a lot in the past, so of course Amber Watcher. Well, the good thing about Healbot, it was a neutral card, so every class had access to it. But this is just for the Paladin. It has better stats, and instead of just healing your face, you can have the option to heal your damaged minion or even your opponent's face, but you're not going to do that because you're not priest, so you don't have like this sort of like damage heal stuff going on. So yeah, most likely just going to be healing one of your damaged minions or your face with the Amber Watcher. But it's such a good card, and I can't wait to see some Dragon Paladins. I don't think we're going to be seeing Highlander Paladin because we lose Mysterious Challenger, went back to the wild, and because of that we won't have secrets anymore. I think it's just going to be like a Paladin Dragon deck with like duplicates, but we'll see. Amber Watcher, great card. Moving on to the Hunter class, and my favorite card from the Hunter. This one excites me the most, actually, this class, because Hunter gets a new portrait, okay? You get Sylvanas. Who doesn't want to be Sylvanas as Hunter? Gosh, I want to be Sylvanas. And this new card, Dragonbane, just excites me so much because it's a mech. And because it's a mech, you know what that means, right? You can synergize Snap onto it and Ziliax onto it. Well, did I say synergize? You could magnetize. You could magnetize Snap onto it and Ziliax onto it. And, you know, mech hunters have been sort of off and on all over kind of the ladder here and there, no matter what meta it is. So you can easily squeeze this into the mech hunter deck. And I know that there's a card that you can sort of, there's like one card that was like interchangeable in mech hunter. It was like the Octosari slot. Basically some mech hunters put Octosari in there. So now you can just put Dragonbane in there. Also, another thing that you can do is you can put Dragonbane into your Highlander Hunter deck. And there's just like cards that you can replace. So like Mark Shot, you can replace that for Dragonbane, or you could take out Explosive Trap, like one of the secrets, because you're not facing that many aggro decks maybe. Howlmaster Shaw, if you did run that, you can put, or the Sandbinder, because Sandbinder, it was really good when Ragnaros was in the meta, but now Sandbinder only pulls out Zephyrus and Siamat. But I still think Sandbinder is pretty good, so I would keep it, like maybe cut something else, like I said, like something else that you're using, like the Mark Shaw or the Houndmaster Shaw. But I have an amazing idea, guys. Wait for it. How about we remove all the secrets from the Highlander Hunter deck, and let's just make it like a Highlander Dragon Hunter deck. Isn't that more exciting? So we could put all the good cards in there plus dragons. So with all the secrets removed out, you can easily just fill it up with dragons, and then you can have some dragon synergy going on. So I built a list here, and like all the lists that I'm showing you, basically, I'm not saying they're gonna be amazing or anything. I just think that we're gonna see something similar or close to it. And I'm really proud that I theory crafted these decks, because I think I'm onto something. But there will probably be a couple of cards like changing up with some of these decks. So I added the Dwarven Sharpshooter, which is a really good one drop. And on turn 2, if you have nothing to do, you could just hero power your opponent's. You could choose to hero power your opponent's minion, because. Then we got the new Corrosive Breath, because we got some dragon synergy. I threw in Brightwing, which is a dragon, but you could put in Amalgam, and that's pretty good. It's a 3/4, better body. Diving Griffin, basically you could pull out, draw you a rush minion from your deck, so it could pull out the Lynx, you could pull out the Ziliax, we like drawing in Highlander decks. And then we have the Primordial Explorer, which is a poison dragon, and you can discover another dragon. So that's pretty cool. Then we have the Stormhammer, the new hunter card, and it can basically, this is a weapon that can last forever if you keep controlling a dragon. Then the cool thing is that Ursatron can pull out your Dragonbane because it's a mech. So it has the option to now pull out your Snip Snap, your Zilliax, or your Dragonbane if you decide to put it in the deck, which I think you should. Then we have Evasive Feywing, which is another 4-mana dragon. I threw it in there. We have Twilight Drake, great dragons, always been. Every time we have a dragon deck, you just throw in that Twilight Drake in there, okay? And then I put Dragon Maw Scorcher because if you're dealing with aggro, I think Dragon Maw Scorcher is awesome. But another option is Big Ol' Whelp, which is the 5-mana 5/5 draws you a card because like we like drawing cards, right? So that's the option for that. And what else do we have here? Of course, we have Alexstrasza, which is the card that you throw in every Highlander deck. So yeah, I'm excited to really play this while being Sylvanas on the ladder. Moving along to the next class I'm going to talk about is Shaman. My favorite card from the Shaman class is Galakron the Tempest. So if you didn't invoke it, it summons 2/2/2 storms with Rush. If you invoked it once, it summons 2 4/4s with Rush. If you invoked it twice, you summon 2 8/8s with Rush, and you get a 5/2 claw weapon. That's crazy. I'm so excited that Shaman's Galakron is amazing, and I think people are gonna use it. And just so you know that the minions with Rush are elementals. They have the elemental tag, and you know, as Shaman, you get random spells, and sometimes there's some sort of elemental synergy, which could be nice. All right, next class I'm going to talk about is Druid, and the card I chose for Druid, my favorite Druid card, is Breath of Dreams, because it's like another mana. Sorry, it's like another Wild Growth or a Jade Blossom. We love those cards, right? But the main question is, will Druid have a dragon deck? Because when I look at the dragons that are available to Druid, there's only 2. There's only Ysera and the Emerald Explorer. So basically you can have a maximum of 3 Druid dragons in your deck. And if you want to add any more dragons, they have to be the neutral dragons. So I don't know, that seems kind of like, I don't know if it's going to be that great. So I thought of an idea and I came up with this deck. It's going to be a Druid Quest Dragon deck. And because Kuhn rotated out and King Pharos was kind of like a flex card in the deck, I thought, what if we just made, you know, instead of having some of those cards, just put in some dragons. So this deck actually has, let me count how many dragons. We have 2 Twilight Drakes, 2 Emerald Explorers, and a Ysera Unleashed. So we have 5 dragons. Yeah, I know what you guys are thinking. Isn't it weird to put dragons into a quest druid deck because it doesn't have, dragons don't have the pick one options like the other cards? I know, but I think this is the only way that dragons are gonna actually work for druid. So yeah. So I put in Frizz into this deck, but now that I look at it, I think Frizz doesn't even suit it because you only run 5 dragons, so Frizz could just be taken out and you could put Elise in there. Or Alexstrasza, because Druid draws so many cards and you run like Zephrys in there. Once you've drawn and have no more duplicates in your deck, you can activate your Zephrys or Alexstrasza, the new Alexstrasza I'm talking about. So you can add that. But, you know, I was thinking Emerald Explorer, which is the new Druid dragon cards, could discover dragons. What if you get Alexstrasza from that? But no, I think having the Alexstrasza instead of the Frizz here makes sense. Or you could put Elise back in. So I do think this is the only dragon deck that possibly could work for Druid. But you're probably just going to get owned by the normal quest Druid. But, you know, this is the start of the expansion, and people want to experiment and try cards and see if it works. So, give it a try. The next class I want to talk about is Priest. And the card I picked for Priest, my favorite card, is Fate Weaver. It's a 4-mana 3/6 dragon. Look at that beautiful artwork. I love it. And it's good stats, honestly. I like it. And it could act like a mini Emperor Thaurissan if you invoked your Galakrond twice. So the cool thing about this is actually if you've invoked your Galakrond twice and you have Galakrond in your hand, you play Fate Weaver and you can make your Galakrond cheaper from going from 7 mana to 6 mana. I mean, it's just exciting to cheapen any card, honestly, right? You want value. But yeah, your Galakrond becomes like a 6 mana, 2 deadly shots as a battle cry. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Next class, Rogue. We have my favorite card from Rogue is gonna have to be another Galakrond. This is Galakrond the Nightmare, and I'm so happy that 2 of my favorite classes, Rogue and Shaman, their Galakronds are amazing. So if you don't invoke Rogue's Galakrond, you draw 1 card, costs 0. If you invoke it once, you draw 2 cards, they cost 0. If you invoke it twice, you draw 4 cards and they cost 0. It's like a better Togwaggle. And you get the weapon, the 5/2 claw weapon. The next class I'm going to talk about is Warrior. And the card I'm most excited about for the Warrior class is Molten Breath. It's a better bash. Deal 5 damage to a minion, so it's pretty good removal. But if you're holding a dragon in your hand, you get to gain 5 armor also. For the price of 4 mana. That seems pretty good. And of course you can synergize it with things like Shield Slam, because you gain 5 armor. Kind of like a shield block, right? But so yeah, we might see this put into Control Dragon decks, Control Dragon Warrior decks, mid-range Dragon decks. Maybe, who knows, maybe Dragon Warrior could be a thing again. I really, really like the old Dragon Warrior decks. But yeah. I'm not sure. I feel like of course other classes are gonna have crazy cool dragon decks, and I feel like some classes got the short end of the stick for some of the dragon decks, but we'll see. And let's move on to neutral. My favorite neutral cards from Descent of Dragons are going to be, I couldn't pick, okay? I have 2 and I couldn't just pick one, so I'm just gonna tell you both, and you already heard me talk about it a lot. It's Frizz and Dragon Queen Alexstrasza. They're just super awesome. We're gonna see them a lot. Yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give this video a like. Also, I hope it's inspired you to theory craft and try new things. And yeah, just go out there, have fun with the new expansion. Bye, guys.